What's going on, everyone? Nick from Comic Culture here. It's time for Nick at Night, my weekly comic book review show. But first, let me tell you about something that's coming up on January 31st. Now, over on the all-new, all-different Blame Phable show, we were actually invited to the C3 Comics Curing Cancer event last quarter. We had to reschedule that show, so it's rescheduled for January 31st, and we put together some amazing bundles for you guys. In order to get a chance to win one of these bundles, you have to donate $25 to the American Cancer Association. The link will be in the Comics Curing Cancer bio page. I'll also link it down below. Make a $25 donation, send it to my email address, which I'll also have down below with your address and YouTube name, and then jump on the stream with us on the 31st to see if you can win one of these amazing thank you gifts. The value of all these gifts are way over the $25 donation minimum, so feel free to donate more than once to earn more spots on the wheel. For more information, you can check out my Instagram. You can check out One Collection Down's Instagram. We have some more details and notes and whatnot. We really hope you'll join us on the 31st. Make sure to check out One Collection Down's YouTube channel. It's also linked down below. That's where it's going to be hosted, so we will see you there. All right, with that out of the way, let's get into the books I read this week. Starting over in DC, we have New Gods, issue number 2. Love this book. New Gods is something newer to me. I'm still trying to get into it. I'm reading the first volume right now. Such a great read, even for someone like me who doesn't quite understand everything that's happened inside this whole fourth world. But Ron B's doing a really great job on that. Art-wise, man, we had Jesse Lonergan showing up for the first couple of pages here and wrapping it up in the back as well. Really great artist. He was on Man's Best most recently. You can check that book out. I love his art style. His compositions are just amazing. Love that. We're dipping into some of the villains that we're going to see now. Darkseid's gone. He's kind of like created this void, right, in the Pantheon. And so there's other people that are going to be stepping up, and other armies coming through. Plus, we have the birth of this new god on Earth, and we don't quite know what that means yet. We do follow the couple who has this kid like in their custody at the moment, and we explore like who's following this couple around as well. Who else knows about this secret? It's really cool. Really great Mr. Miracle moments in here too, and Big Bertha. Hilarious scene right there. Great conversation between the two of them. He's on a mission right now. Is he going to be alone in that? Man, we get to see what happens inside of here. They just do a really good job of orienting people to this world in case you haven't gotten a chance to catch up on Kirby's amazing work. Really spectacular visuals in here. Evan Cagle's killing it. Loving New Gods. Let me know if you're reading it. Man, Mark Waid and Samney and Lopes on Batman and Robin Year 1. This is issue number 4. First off, that cover is absolutely killer. Can we get a moment to appreciate that right there? The interior artwork matches that for sure. This is a dark, gritty, but it has some satirical moments inside of it. It has some levity in it. It's exploring that Year 1 between Damian and Bruce and trying to develop that relationship between Batman and Robin. Of course, we have Alfred in there playing that father figure. You know what I mean? We have like child services checking in on Damian, making sure that he's a good fit for Bruce Wayne. So they're having to deal with like, you know, being up all night, taking out the bad guy, but also like going to school the next day. What I also really like about this book is we have a new crime boss in Gotham, kind of like putting the different families against each other right now. And we have Batman trying to uncover the truth behind that and using all those cool bat gadgets that we know and love from like classic Batman runs. So if you really enjoy old school Batman vibe books and you don't mind this time period where Damian's around and they're trying to like figure things out, really recommend checking this one out. The artwork is incredible. Wade's doing a killer job bringing all those feels back. Definitely check out Year 1 if you haven't yet. All right, let's go over to Marvel next, talking about some What If books. We have What If Galactus transformed Moon Knight, so making him his herald, essentially. We had a Mickey Mouse What If the other week. We also had a What If Galactus transformed Gambit, I believe. I didn't read that one. The Mickey Mouse one was pretty cool, but we have Moon Knight out this week, so how'd this one stack up? It was okay, right? In the opening pages, we have a great scene between Galactus and Khonshu. They're battling it out, God versus God, essentially. And basically, Khonshu gets his butt kicked. He summons Moon Knight to like rescue him. And then it's Moon Knight versus Galactus, and then he becomes his herald, assuming all the powers that a herald would have, running through the cosmos, kind of like really soaking it in, but he runs across some opposition and things like that, some other heralds that are sick of Galactus's crap, that are teaming up to take him on, and it was not that great, to be honest with you. Like, it was cool to see like some of these characters become the herald, but they're one and done stories. It leaves it open for somebody else to pick up and run with it at some point, but who knows, right? So these Galactus ones, these What If ones, not really digging them. Maybe you are. It's cool, what if, whatever. But let me know if you read it down below. All right, next up we have Tim Seeley on Rogue, the Savage Land issue number 1. So if you're a fan of Rogue in the Savage Land and you want some ancillary stories about her time spent there, a little recap of how she got there and how she's dealing with, the just living on her own, living in the wild, having to deal with all these animals and whatnot, her finding Magneto and just trying to like flush out that relationship and whatnot. These might be some cool little ancillary stories for you. Interior wise, I think they did a decent job of that. I was expecting it to be a little bit more, a little bit more hot, to be honest with you, but here we are nonetheless. So, again, if you're a big Rogue fan, you love the Savage Land, you can dip into this and see what's going on. Of course, we're going to have like Kozar and things like that being featured in some subsequent stories. We have these gnarly beasts and whatnot that have kidnapped him for some like sacrificial purposes. So we're going to unpack that. Of course, our team is going to be on going over to save him and whatnot. So yeah, we're going to see what's going on in subsequent issues. This one was good enough. Tim Seeley's doing a decent job on this. Fire cover art though. Let me know if you read it. Laura Kenny Wolverine issue number 2 is out this week. I got this one because I like Daredevil Elektra. I wanted to see what that team up looked like and what the overall story was going to bring us. And of course, the first third of this book is basically them kind of squaring off, you know what I mean? Like get off my turf kind of a thing. There's a lot of, bad blood between just like mutants in general and whatnot. So there's a lot of trust issues going around right now, rather, in like the community of even inside the hero community itself. But basically there's a guy that's being smuggled. There's this child being smuggled right now, and we understand what his power set is. He's essentially a bomb that will go off. He has a power dampener on. He's going to be sent to some rally of some oppositional force or whatever, and he's going to be detonated in there. And so our team here is trying to go undercover essentially and stop that from happening. We do get some Luke Cage action inside of here, and it's pretty good. I think the interior art is really good in this book. The story was decent, I would say. That certainly leaves you on a big cliffhanger at the end of this issue. So Laura Kenny Wolverine issue number 2, cool team up, interesting battles, intriguing stories so far. Let me know if you read it. Chris Condon and Capuzio on Ultimate Wolverine issue number 1. I was really looking forward to this one because I love this guy's art style in here. If you read the Moon Knight run a little while ago, it has that like lens flare look to it. Everything is sharp. Everything is really ghostly looking. I absolutely love that. I really, really like the idea of Wolverine being the Ultimate Universe's Winter Soldier. I love that idea right there. Of course, we have the Council, this side of the world's council coming together, building this Ultimate Warrior, talking about the fact that they have this new shell of a being that can withstand the treatment they need to make this Ultimate Warrior, and they have the psychic abilities to like wipe them clean, right? It's a clean slate to send them on these, covert missions around the world, taking out their enemies. Really enjoyed all of that inside of here. There's a lot of things we've seen before in other issues, featuring Wolverine, some story beats, little moments, things like that, but there are really cool shots in here, really interesting moments. It's not without its casualties for sure in this Ultimate world, so that was kind of cool to see. But the real question is, how long can they keep this soldier, this Winter Soldier, this Logan Winter Soldier, under their command, right? How long can they control this guy mentally? I think we're going to be unpacking that, obviously, going forward, because that's really the biggest thing that can change for this character. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep this guy under wraps. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. Ultimate Wolverine issue number 1, really good. Did you read it? Let me know. All right, let's go over to Distillery, believe it or not, for Scott Snyder and Jock on You Won't Feel a Thing. Pretty cool story about this guy living in an assisted living. He's a retired detective, and it goes through like a typical day for him, these treatment plans. Of course, there's moments where we're bouncing around like in his past and whatnot. He's trying to like retain his memories, and that brings up a lot of different feelings about past relationships and whatnot, past cases that he was on, his family, things like that. And it's just really cool look at this man's life in this situation. But there's also a murder mystery, an unsolved mystery in his past that is creeping back up inside the community, and he's like the only guy that can take care of it, right? But because of his old age, because of where he lives, his dementia, and how that's getting worse and worse, it's going to be kind of interesting to see how he finds a way out of that, maybe how he can like put some closure on this case that he was unable to solve when he was younger. So pretty cool uses of character. I like the setting. I like the situation that we're in, to be honest. The artwork from Jock is awesome, of course. Scott Snyder doing some pretty interesting things. It doesn't read like a Snyder book, which is interesting to me, but I thought it was pretty cool from Distillery. You Won't Feel a Thing, issue number 1. Let me know if you read it. Next up from Lee Lowridge, we have Standstill, issue number 6. Now, issue number 5, I did not like whatsoever. 6 kind of brings us back up to speed, I would say. It's definitely better than the previous couple of issues. We're still following our villain right now, honestly, and he's on that rampage still to basically wipe out everybody that had anything to do with the murder of his wife. And it's kind of hard not to like align yourself with this guy's motives. Really cool creative ways that he's using his powers here, although we don't really see it on display. We see it much more in other issues, but he definitely takes care of the job inside of here. And he's kind of in this downward spiral right now because he's basically achieved all of his goals. And now all he's doing is like doing drugs and hooking up with women and like going around spending money and stuff and just drinking himself to death every single night. So he's kind of in this downward spiral now that he's basically done everything he's wanted to do with this power that he has. Now, our hero, on the other hand, he's actually the victim of a government agency who's sending some people out to get back the technology that was stolen from them originally. And so we touch base with him very momentarily while introducing this new kind of villain at the same time. So we're going to see where that goes right there, because so far there's not really a hero or a villain in this story. You kind of align yourself with everybody's side. Now you have this government agency to kind of like hate inside the book, I suppose. So there's only 2 volumes left. I don't exactly know where they're going to go from here. Maybe they're going to team up and take on the government. Who knows? Do it in 2 issues? Maybe. We'll see. Issue number 6 is out. Let me know if you guys read it. Daniel Warren Johnson, Riley Rasmo, and Mike Spicer on the Moon is following us, issue number 5. Now, I'm used to twists being inside of Daniel Warren Johnson's books. I should have seen this point coming, but something happens inside this book that I did not see coming at all. So shame on me, shame on us, right? And it's definitely something that's, you don't fully understand the repercussions of it or what it all means, but we know that our heroes are pretty screwed towards the end of this. This is the big battle issue right here. All the forces for good versus all the forces for evil. Duking it out for the soul of this little girl, right? To save this girl, bring her back to her family. So, of course, we have some gnarly monsters just going at it right now against our heroes and all the armies that they bring together. And like I said before, there's some twists in here. People we trusted, we shouldn't have trusted inside this book for sure. So we're going to be, unpacking that in future issues, seeing what's going on. But the visuals inside this book, really, really cool stuff, man. Not exactly what we get from like a balls to the wall, just war from Daniel Warren Johnson, but Riley's doing a really good job of putting us in that mindset. And of course, we get that Daniel Warren Johnson story on top of that. So it's all working out at the end. Moon is following us, issue number 5. Another great issue. What'd you guys think? Then lastly, from Joshua Williamson, we have G.I. Joe issue number 3 from the Energon universe. Another spectacular issue, probably my favorite one of the 3 that has come out so far. We spent some nice time with Cobra, with the Joes, to kind of understand where we are right now. The first issue, we had like our initial battle. We put some teams together. We had something to fight for, you know what I mean? We're kind of getting out of that right now. Everyone's licking their wounds at the moment and going from there. But we get a little behind the scenes on Cobra's base right now, and they sense that there's somebody's like infiltrated their ranks, and they're not taking any precautions at all, and Cobra is able to dispatch that person pretty quickly. I think it's a really cool idea that they had here, kind of a bait and switch in a way, and it just kind of shows you how much of a badass Cobra is in here, even in front of Destro, who's kind of taken aback at this. But I like that they're setting the stage for Cobra some more. We get to see their base some more, we get to know what their plans are a little bit more inside this book, and we get to familiarize ourselves with like the hierarchy inside of this compound right here. And then, meanwhile, on the Joe side, of course, we have some new recruits coming into the team. Of course, egos are high, tempers are high. Everyone's coming out of getting their butts kicked, essentially. And so they're having to do whatever they can do to, put aside their differences and fight the good fight. And I'm really just enjoying the banter between the different people. Again, the Cobra side, getting an understanding of how that all works. The Joe team slowly building and everyone trying to get over each other's egos. I'm liking the way that it's all done. The art is really solid, too. The coloring is bright and vibrant. It's just spot on. So I'm really liking what everyone's doing. Jordi Belair's spectacular, so I don't expect anything less from her. Really intriguing story, though. I'm on board. I was a little bit hesitant, to be honest with you, in the first issue. Second issue was good. Third issue is even better. Let me know if you're enjoying it. All right, everyone, that's all I can get my hands on this week. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know down below what you read and what your favorite books of the week are. While you're down there, like, subscribe, share, hit that bell notification to be alerted whenever I put out new videos. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the comments.